Hi students, today we will be seeing about purchasing specifications for perishable foods. Perishable foods are those which cannot be kept for more than 2 days at room temperature because certain enzymes present in them bring about physical and chemical changes which are undesirable. Standard purchasing specifications are documents that are drawn up for every commodity describing exactly what is needed for the establishment. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify and select different types of perishable foods available and used by food service institutions and formulate specifications for different types of perishable foods used in food service institutions. Now let us see what are standard purchasing specifications. All standard purchasing specifications for food products should include the following information: name of product, either trade or brand name, whether conforming to established standards like FPO, size of container, example weight, can, size, count per container or approximate number per kilogram, for example number of pieces per container if applicable, unit on which price will be based. Information that would describe a product in more detail might include product use, whether it is going to be used for soups or salads, product test procedures used by the food service operators to determine quality compliance if applicable, example degree of ripeness, flavor characteristics, etc. Quality tolerance limits, for example number of substandard products in a container of produce, weight tolerance limit, that is range of acceptable weight such as for meat, poultry or seafoods. Any other information that helps to describe the condition of the product should be included as in the following. For canned goods, type or style, pack, syrup density, size and specific gravity. Meat and meat products, age, exact curing instructions, weight tolerance limit, composition, condition upon receipt of product, fat content, cut of meat to be used and market class, fresh fruits and vegetables, variety, weight, degree of ripeness or maturity, quality tolerance limit and geographical origin. Frozen foods, temperature during delivery and upon receipt, variety and sugar ratio. Dairy products, temperature during delivery and upon receipt, milk fat content, milk solids, bacterial content. Buyers can now write definite specifications by citing a known standard which in itself is a rigorous specification. These reference standards constitute a common technical language for buyers and suppliers. Now we will see how to select meat and meat products. The term meat is generally applied to flesh of lamb, mutton, beef and pork. The commonly used meat in India is lamb mutton. About 70% of all meat used comes from sheep and goat. The wholesale cuts of lamb are legs, loin, racks, breast and shoulders. Each of the wholesale cut is further cut into retail cuts such as chops, roast and neck slices. Meat sold in the market must be wholesome and fit for human consumption. The different classes of meat and related products are veal. It is a meat from cattle slaughtered 3 to 4 weeks after birth. Beef, meat of cattle over 1 year old. Lamb, carcasses of young sheep which is between 12 to 20 months old. Mutton, flesh of animals over 20 months of age at the time of slaughter. Pork, it is the meat of swine. And organ meats such as liver, kidney, heart, pancreas and brain. The tenderness of the meat depends on the age and feeding of the animal. The flavor of meat is determined by various factors such as feeding, age, sex and maturity. The older the flesh, the greater the flavor in most cases. Young flesh is not so highly flavored but sweeter and more tender. Flesh of male animals is stronger in flavor than that of females. Well-developed muscles are usually more strongly flavored. Example, chicken leg as compared with breast. Flavor of the meat also depends on fat. Pork and mutton, for example, have individual flavors depending on the fat. Wherever possible, select meat which is marble. This is meat where the fat is interspersed between the muscle fibers and connective tissue. This shows good feeding. Marbling helps to keep the meat moist when cooked by dry methods. Bacon is made by preserving the meat of carefully bred pigs. The preservative used is salt. Good quality, well-cured bacon should have a pleasant smell. The rind should be thin and smooth, the fat firm and free from any yellow marks. The lean part should be a good deep pink color and the flavor mild and mellow. Selection of meat and meat products. Let us see first about mutton and lamb. A good quality animal should be compact and evenly fleshed. The lean flesh should be firm, of a pleasing dull red color and of a fine texture and grain. There should be an even distribution of surface fat which should be hard, brittle and flaky in texture and of a clear white color. In a young animal, the bone is pink and porous so that when it is cut, only a small amount of blood can be seen. With progressive aging, the bones become hard, dense, white and inclined to splinter when chopped. Pork. Lean flesh should be pale pink, firm and of a fine texture. The fat should be white, firm, smooth and not excessive. Bones should be small, fine and pinkish. The skin or rind should be smooth. Beef. The lean meat should be bright red with small flecks of white fat. The fat should be firm, brittle in texture, creamy white in color and odorless. Older animals and dairy breeds have fat which is usually deeper yellow in color. Beef in good condition should have streaks of fat running through the lean section and the flesh should rise again quickly after being pressed with fingers. Any cut surface should present a slightly moist appearance in the touch. Poultry. The term poultry is applied to all domestic birds used as food and includes chicken, duck, geese, turkey and pigeons. Common cuts are chicken and turkey, halves and quarters, breast, drumsticks, thighs and livers. Poultry is classified on the basis of age. The classification of poultry according to Indian standards is broiler or fryer. Chicken of 8 to 10 weeks of age of either sex having tender meat with soft, pliable, smooth textured skin and flexible breastbone cartilage. Rooster. A young chicken usually 3 to 5 months of age of either sex having tender meat with soft, pliable, smooth textured skin and breastbone cartilage that may be somewhat less flexible than that of the broiler or fryer. Stag. A male chicken usually under 10 months of age with coarse skin, somewhat roughened and darkened flesh, and a considerable hardening of the breastbone cartilage. Stewing chicken or foal. A mature chicken, usually more than 10 months of age, with meat less tender than that of a roaster and inflexible breastbone tip. Cock. A mature male chicken, usually over 10 months of age, with coarse skin, toughened and darkened meat, and hardened breastbone tip. How do you choose poultry? Only young birds are suitable for roasting. Older birds may be broiled, steamed, braised or stewed. A roasting chicken should be about 9 months to 1 year old. Geese and other birds for roasting should not be older than 1 year. Signs of a young bird. The feathers, especially the quills on the wings, should be easy to pull out. The feathers should be down all over the body, more under the wings. No long hair on the body. The skin should be white or clear and smooth. The feet should be supple with smooth, even, overlapping scales. Signs which show that a bird is fresh. Feathers light and fluffy. Eyes prominent and clear. Smell not unpleasant. Feet moist and not stiff and dry. Skin clear with a dark or greenish tinge. Points which denotes good condition in ducks. The breast should be plump. The bill and feet are yellow in young birds, but they darken with age. The webbing of the feet should be smooth, tender and easily broken. The underbill should be soft and pliable. Next, we will see the selection criteria for fish and other seafoods. Fishes are classified as fin fish and shellfish. Fin fish are vertebrates and have skin and scales which cover the body. They are subdivided into whitefish, which are mainly flat fish and contain oil only in the liver. Most of these are deep sea fish. Examples are pomfret and sole. Oily fish, which are mainly round fish and contain fat all over the body. The amount of fat varies from 1.5% to 20%. These fishes are often pigmentous and tend to be surface fish. Examples are mackerels and sardines. Shellfish, as the name denotes, have a shell covering the body. They are invertebrates. They are subdivided into mollusks, example oysters, scallops, mussels, clams, etc. They have two distinctly separate shells joined by a hinge-like membrane. The movements are controlled by strong muscle. When the muscle relaxes, the two halves of the shell fall open. Second one is crustaceans, example lobsters, crabs, prawns and shrimps. They have crust-like shell. The shells of the crustaceans do not grow with the fish. They are shed every year, with a new one forming to suit their new size. Fish that are fresh can be easily identified by noting the following qualities. The skin should be bright, moist and shiny. The scales should be firmly attached to the skin and plentiful. The eyes of fresh fish will be convex, the pupil black and the cornea translucent. The eyes should be bright, clear and bulging and not sunken. The gills of the freshly caught fish are bright red. The tail should be stiff. If fish is split along the backbone and lifted, the bone should stick firmly to the flesh. If the bone separates easily, the fish is stale. The surface should be free of dirt and slime. The flesh should be firm to touch with no traces of browning or drying around the edges. It should not have any off odor. Choosing shellfish. They should be bought in season as far as possible. They should be medium size and of good weight. It is best to buy them alive, particularly oysters, crabs and lobsters. If they are dead, the following precautions must be taken. The claws of crabs must be springy and not hanging down. The eyes should be bright. The tail of lobsters should spring back when stretched out. Shrimps and prawns must be crisp. Oyster shells must be tightly closed. Next we will see about the selection of eggs. Although eggs of all birds may be eaten, the egg of chicken is used more often than any other. Fresh eggs have best quality. Quality of eggs can be determined by size. The normal weight of an egg in India is between 40 to 60 grams. The weight depends on the inheritance, stage of laying, season of laying, age, diet and health of the bird. Size does not reflect the quality. Usually, small eggs contain a higher proportion of yolk than large eggs. Shell. The factors to be considered are its strength, porosity and cleanliness. Any dirt on the shell means the presence of a large number of contaminating microorganisms. Weak shells, rough handling results in damage to the shell. Good egg should be unbroken. Air cell. As the quality of the egg decreases, the size of the air cell increases due to loss of moisture through the cell, especially in warm, dry atmosphere. Egg white. A fresh egg white broken onto a plate stands up in rounded form due to the viscosity of the thick portion of the egg white that surrounds the yolk. As egg deteriorates, the percentage of the thin white increases. Egg yolk. In deteriorated egg, the yolk also takes up water from the white and the yolk membrane, that is vitrinal membrane, stretches and when broken onto a plate, the deteriorated egg flattens and tends to spread over the plate. If stretched excessively by movement of water into the yolk membrane is weakened and may break when the egg is removed from the shell. Separation of the white from the yolk is very difficult or impossible. Chalaze. As egg deteriorates, they start to disintegrate and cannot hold the yolk in the center of the egg. The quality of egg can be found out by putting it in water. If the egg sinks, it is considered as good. Poor quality eggs float due to increase in size of the air cells and due to loss of moisture. The quality of the egg can also be evaluated by candling. The egg is held against a source of strong light. Candling will reveal a crack in the shell, the size of the air cell, the firmness of albumin, the position and mobility of yolk, and the possible presence of foreign substances like blood spots, developing embryo and moles. Now you can see a sample purchase specification for eggs. Milk and milk products. All milk and milk products are highly perishable and are subject to contamination, adulteration and development of off flavors. It is important that the food service manager purchases only the highest quality available. All milk products purchased for food services should come from milk that has been pasteurized and that has been handled in accordance with the best sanitary practices. Vegetables. Vegetables are plants or part of plants that are used as food. All vegetables, particularly green ones, are best when taken straight from the garden. So, it is essential that one should know how to judge a well-grown vegetable. A well-grown vegetable is usually tender and free from pest. They are classified into three groups: green leafy vegetables, roots and tubers, and other vegetables. The purchasing criteria for the different groups of vegetables are: green leafy vegetables. These should be crisp and give a crunchy sound when squeezed. If the the vein of the leaf is broken, it should give a sharp sound. If the leaves are limp, then the vegetables are not fresh. Roots and tubers. These should be firm and heavy for their size. They should be free from earth and grubs. They should be smooth skinned. Other vegetables. Cabbage and cauliflower should be free from green fly. The cabbage should have a firm heart and the outer leaves should stand the same test for freshness as green leafy vegetables. Cauliflower should have a close white flower. Tomatoes should have a rusty red color and should not be soft. French beans should not be stringy. Peas should be full in the pod and green. Lady's finger should snap if the ends are broken. Brinjals should have a smooth skin and should not be heavy for their size. The purchasing characteristics of some commonly used vegetables are beans, tender, fresh, crisp, clean, firm, velvety to touch and should break easily with a sharp sound. Broccoli, firm, bright, tender young stalks, compact bud clusters, dark to purplish green, yellow or wilted leaves indicate aging. Cabbage, fresh, should be compact, no insect holes, no yellow or withered leaves. Carrot, firm, fresh, smooth, yellow-orange in color and no wilted, soft or flabby portion. Cauliflower, compact, no insects, fine heads, tender green leaves, should not be rough, flowers should not be spread out or yellow. Celery, white or green, medium length, crisp, solid, brittle stalks. Brinjal, firm, bright, uniform, dark, rich purple or green. Free of scars or decay, should not be wilted, flabby or soft and no insect holes. Lady's finger, young, tender, tips should break easily. It should not have any holes. Green peas, young, fresh, tender, bright green, velvety appearing pod. Greens, tender, fresh, bright green, leaves should not be holed or withered. Leaves should be crisp and stems should be thin. Onions, bright, hard, well shaped. Potatoes, medium size, even shaped, smooth, no black or green discoloration. Tomatoes, bright red in color, firm, no holes, softness, black, over-ripened or cracks. The sample purchasing specification for carrots can be seen. Fruits. Fruits are produced from flowers and they are ripened ovary of a plant together with adjacent tissues. Fruits are fleshy or pulpy in character, often juicy and usually sweet with fragrant aromatic flavors. Fruits are divided into groups depending upon the shape, cell structure or natural habitat. The different types of fruits are berries, strawberry, gooseberry, blackberry or cranberries, citrus fruits, sweet lime, orange, lime, lemon, grapefruit, drupes, apricots, peach, plums, grapes, green grapes, black grapes and seedless grapes, melons, watermelon, muskmelon, pomes, apples and pears, tropical and subtropical fruits, example, amla, avocado, banana, dates, guava, jackfruit, mango, papaya, pineapple, pomegranate, sapota, etc. The purchasing characteristics of some commonly used fruits in food service institutions are apple, bright red in color, firm, distinctive aroma. Apricots, best if tree ripened, mature, plump, juicy and be a uniform gold color. Avocado, fresh and bright, appearing with flesh, just beginning to be soft when pressed. Bananas, bright, clean, fresh appearance, dry and not overripe or underripe. Citrus fruits, firm but springy to touch, well shaped, heavy for size, thin skin, juicy and should have few seeds. Grapes, plump, fresh, highly colored for the variety and firmly attached to stems. Melons, firm, distinctive aroma and no black spots. Pears, fairly firm, free from blemishes, sweet and juicy. Pineapples, fresh, clean appearance and almost hollow eyes. To conclude, the food buyer should have a thorough knowledge about the purchasing characteristics of different perishable foods to ensure that foods of the highest quality is purchased in a food service institution. Thank you. I will see you in the next module.